This is a production of the Gold Arrow Podcast Network. Hello, and welcome to the Gold Arrow Camp POG-Cast, a podcast for friends of Gold Arrow Camp. Throughout the year, we join you to bring your day some of what makes Gold Arrow special. Our goal is to help you have fun, make friends, and grow throughout the year, not just when you're at GAC. Since we can't get together in real life, we gather here, around the virtual campfire. We have some of your favorite parts of morning assembly, and interviews with experienced campers and some of your favorite counselors. We think it's a lot of fun, and we're glad you joined us here on the podcast. This is episode 45, where a first-year counselor from my home state, Indiana, joins us. It's Van. This week's podcast features Van, who came to us from Indiana. I also came to GAC from Indiana, though as you'll hear, we do have differing allegiances when it comes to college sports in the Hoosier state. We have another connection that we didn't talk about in the interview, which is this. Van taught the kids of one of my high school classmates to swim, even though we're not from the same hometown. Small world, huh? Van is wonderful because she found camp and fell in love with it. And she's really eloquent in the way she diagnoses why camp is so special. She and I had a really nice chat. I really specifically enjoyed the part where she talked about how much she loved being able to offer guidance to people just a little bit younger than she is, which was a really cool part of the talk, and I thought really had a lot of interesting stuff for those of you who listen. So here it is. Here's my chat with Van. Oh, welcome to the podcast, Van. What's up, Van?
Nothing much. Yeah, I've just went to a career fair today, so that's all I've really done so far. So my hair's up in this tight bun.
That's all right. It's an audio medium, so we're just people are going to think your hair looks fantastic because it does. It's a wonderful day.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
So you're joining us from school. So where do you go to school? What do you study?
Yeah. So I go to Indiana University, and I study marketing and business analytics, the Superior Indiana School.
We'll go ahead and say you've got the article wrong. It is a Superior Indiana School. I'll say it's better than Notre Dame, but it's not the Superior Indiana School. That's, of course, Purdue, which is north in a prettier place with a better basketball team.
Yeah.
So,
I can't argue on that one.
I know it's been a rough time for the beloved Hoosiers. So. That's kind of who you are. This was your first year at camp. What did you do at camp this year?
Yeah, so I did a lot of different things at camp this year, which was really cool. I was on Shaver the first session, which was awesome. Got to be on an island and driving boats all day long, which was super cool. And then the next two sessions, I was an activity counselor on the water for Eagles Girls, which was awesome as well. And then the last session, I was a group counselor for Tigers. So that was really cool. Fun way to end the summer as a group counselor.
Right. So, yeah, you kind of hit on it. You kind of did do a whole lot of stuff. So
yeah.
Let's just talk about the main camp. So activity counselor for the waterfront and then a group counselor. What's your favorite part about being a waterfront activity counselor?
Definitely being able to always participate in the activities. I feel like half the time I'm like, wow, I'm the one who's leading this activity, but I'm having so much fun too, I mean, I'm always on the water with everyone. If we're on a pontoon boat, if there's two lifeguards there, I'm also able to jump off.
Sure.
And it was really fun.
And so then at the end of the summer, we had some people who had to leave early for school and whatnot. And so we had an opening. And so you were willing to become a group counselor and just go to all the activities. What was the best part about being a group counselor?
Like you said, I loved doing all the activities. It was really cool, especially after doing waterfront for the two sessions before. It was fun to mix it up. I really liked the rocks and ropes.
Really?
That was something I hadn't been able to do before. So naturals actually was, I think, my most favorite when I did that. Because I'd never gone rock climbing at all before.
Sure.
And so it was so cool for me to experience that,
So when you were a group counselor and you were going from activity to activity with your girls, what things did you see and experience in camp that maybe you hadn't seen or experienced when you were working on the waterfront? Besides rock climbing, of course, which you just talked about.
Yeah. I would say probably it was different in the fact that I didn't get to know like as many people at camp, like campers, just because like I only was with my group of girls. But then it was also like that was amazing because I got to know like my girls, my campers even better, which was really cool. So I liked both of them, but yeah, it was cool to have the last session, like I said, to like really get to know my campers very well. I think one of my favorite things about it was I had a group of girls they wanted to do like everything,
That's
which
awesome.
was awesome. They really wanted to climb the face, and they didn't like sleeping in at all. So we actually went and climbed on Sleeping Sunday. I took like half my cabin and we went and climbed the face together and like saw like, obviously the view of Huntington Lake before we ate breakfast in the morning. So it was fun to be like a group counselor and start to like organize like other things to do, like with my cabin specifically that I didn't really think about doing when I was an activity counselor as much.
Okay. Out of all of it, so shaver, you worked on the waterfront, you were a group counselor, you get like the whole gambit of things to do as a counselor. What was your absolute favorite part about working at camp?
Oh gosh. I would definitely say meeting people from all over the world, which was incredible. Like for me, like being from Indiana, like even meeting people like across the country was really cool. And just like experience, like hearing from them, their different life experiences.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some good examples, but I mean, like, the staff comes from all over, like New Zealand, Australia, Cyprus, Zimbabwe. Like every time I was working with other counselors and kids and campers as well, it was so cool to hear from them, like their background and what they'd done.
Yeah, I agree. I think you don't think about that. You think about, I'm going to go to camp, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to work with kids, but you don't think about, I'm also going to be exposed to people from literally around the world this year. We had people from everywhere. It was really cool.
Very true. Yes. Yeah. Oh, in addition to that, I have to add, I think the culture of camp just was incredible, with always like the wows and stuff. Like everyone's always like supporting each other. Like people come from all different backgrounds, but everyone has like that common goal and common interest of like loving being outside, loving, being a counselor, because you wouldn't be there if you didn't love it. So that was really cool.
I was talking with Simba recently, and he was saying that like one of the reasons he keeps coming back is just such a naturally positive place, and that you don't get that a lot of other places, and it's really nice to be in there.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. When I came back home, I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like obviously excited to see my family and stuff, but I was like, man, like, you really do like miss that environment of always being around people that are so positive and just like excited and genuine. And it was great.
I agree. You talked about climbing the face and we talked about some other stuff, but do you have another kind of favorite camp memory?
Oh, okay. Let me think. I would definitely say some of my favorite, I feel like I can't lump this into one, but with our campers, when me and Willow were co's, and then like later when I was a group counselor as well, we would ask our campers like if they had any like questions on like just like advice, that we could give them. And that was like really cool for me to be able like, like especially when I was an Eagles counselor, they asked like, advice for high school and stuff. So that was cool for me to just be able to tell them just like some things that I'd learned from, already going through high school and stuff, and like relay that to them. So I really liked that.
Yeah, I think it's another one of those things that we don't think about when we take the job and we start the job, but really a huge part of the job is like being, the technical term is a near peer mentor. This idea that like I could, or Bean could say the same exact things to those girls and it doesn't matter to them because we're old people and old people don't know anything. But because counselors are are close enough, right? Like, cause so with high school girls, you're basically 5 years older than they are. And so you're that perfect window for somebody who is super cool to them, super relatable. they can see themselves at that age. Like they can imagine themselves at 20.
Yeah.
They have a much harder time imagining themselves at 40.
Yeah.
And so counselors, I think, have that awesome both opportunity and responsibility to like give them good role models. And it's, I think, one of the things that I'm really thrilled with our staff. I think that you guys do a really nice job of being authentic, genuine role models.
Yeah.
And I think, you know it as well as I do, maybe better, that in kind of society, there's a lack of that because there's a lack of kind of personal relationship building. Everybody spends so much time
Very true.
kind of locked into their individual thing that when we get to camp and we take away the distractions, and we say, go build some relationships, it turns out it's really powerful stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And going off of that, just with the like no distractions, I did realize like being separated from my phone, like when I actually got on my phone again and I was on social media and stuff, I was like, I didn't even feel good.
No.
I was like, wow, like why am I wasting my time with this? You know, and it's interesting because I talked to other counselors and they felt the same way as well. You know, like when I got on my phone, like usually I like, okay, I'll use that to like call my parents or something that, you know.
It's, it's, you know, there's a lot of brain science that talks about it, but the social media and the notifications especially give you those cheap hits of dopamine. It feels good.
Yeah.
And so, and we talk with you guys in training, we talk with campers at orientation about like, you're going to have some withdrawals. Like it's going to feel for a couple of days weird. And then because you're going to be getting like genuine good impacts in your brain, you're going to get much more lasting.
Yeah.
And it is when you go back to the phone, it doesn't feel nearly as good.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's some kind of thought leaders out there who think and make good points that basically social media is brain developmentally, it's Doritos, right? Doritos are terrible for you. We know this.
Yeah.
But they taste great because evolutionarily your body was like, oh, sugar and fat, that'll get me through the winter. Right?
Yeah.
But now that we live in a world where we don't need that, it's very unhealthy when you have it in these big doses. And I think we're going to see the same thing with social media. It's very unhealthy in these big doses. And so I guess like for everybody at camp, from staff to counselors, everybody on down, it really is like a detoxification from that cheap dopamine.
Yeah.
It's going on a really great social media diet. And we all feel healthy
Yeah, no,
at the end
very
of it.
true.
You mentioned that you study marketing.
Yes.
So if you were pitching camp to a new family, how would you sell it?
Okay. Man, you're making me do work. It's a Friday.
I know, but I figure you've had all week of learning, so now we can apply the learning, Van.
Okay. But yeah, I would say it's a great way to get kids to really push themselves without distractions. And especially it being in such a positive environment, everybody there wants to be, at least I had the experience, everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody wants to talk to you. You know, you're forced to talk to people from all over the world. And I feel like that, in addition to all the activities there are, those aren't things that you're exposed to on an everyday basis. So I always thought, like when I was at camp and I was doing some of these things for the first time, I was like, I'm 21 years old and I'm doing this for the first time. I'm like, that's so cool that these kids and, you know, even like really young kids and even people going into high school, like that's so cool that they're able to like have all these opportunities to try all these new things. And eventually that like lets you know what your passions are as well. So yeah, that's how I would describe camp.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, and it's all about development. I think for a long time, people thought camp was all about fun, and it was, and camp is a tremendous amount of fun, but it's, you know, there's some vegetables underneath that, and it's about developing who you are and what you really enjoy. Yeah. And, you know, the number of kids who tell us on evaluations or after camp, hey, I really found something I care about that I never would have tried on my own, is a really high number.
Very true.
My daughter certainly is in that category. She told me before camp, because she was a camper for the first time this year, she told me before camp, Dad, I'm not going to do high ropes. I'm not going to go rock climbing. I'm scared of that. And then she, you know, had a counselor who really talked her into going on the zip line, and she did it. And then I couldn't get her away from the zip line and rock climbing and all that kind of stuff.
So cool.
And she said, I like it up there. I was like, yeah, you tried something new and you found something out about yourself. That's pretty
exactly.
good.
Yeah. Or even I remember Trail Mix, her dad went to camp, and at camp he learned how to sail. And he's still, like, he came back to camp this year and is sailing. And obviously Trail Mix, she went to camp when she was younger, and she found out she was, like, really passionate about backpacking. And now she's backpacked in New Zealand.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so it's, like, really giving, like, it really gives kids an opportunity and, like, people an opportunity to find out just areas they're passionate about and kind of, like, run with it.
I agree. That's a good pitch. So those of you listening to the podcast, if you see Facebook ads that show up that start talking about finding your best self, you know, Van just gave us that on the house. It's totally free.
There you go.
All right, Van, it's time for the speed round. 5 questions we ask absolutely everybody who comes on the podcast. Here they are. Van, what's your favorite camp song?
Oh, is it called Wada Wada Wada?
Oh, the Gold Arrow Camp song.
Gold Arrow Camp?
Yeah.
I love that song. I actually was telling it to my friends afterwards. They were making fun of me. I was showing them all the moves.
No, you got to get them. They won't make fun of you if they come work with us. They'll know then.
That's right.
Favorite item on the salad bar?
Ooh, gosh. Okay, I don't think I've ever had this vegetable before. I still don't even know what it's called. It kind of looks like cut up carrots, and it's a little bit sweet. It's white.
Oh, it's jicama.
Yeah, I really like that. I've never tried that before.
Oh, that's going to make Monkey so happy. Jicama is Monkey's favorite food on the planet.
Really? Yeah, I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was like cut up apple slices the first time I tried it. I was like, this is not.
It's not, but it's really good. Jicama, outstanding. We got a jicama convert this summer. Favorite lip balm flavor?
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm not a true Gold Arrow camp staff member because I don't think I tried any of them this summer.
It's okay.
I know.
We'll just go ahead and say Niski Grape because it's a funny name.
There we go.
Around the campfire at night, mallows or popcorn?
Popcorn, 100%.
Okay, that's a choice you made.
100%.
And Van, what's your real name?
Ooh,
we're all out of time. We'll have to have you back on the podcast some other time, and then we can find out your real name. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast, Van.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. This was fun.
Joke of the cast, joke of the cast. 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 Joke of the cast. Here's a little Halloween spirited joke for you. Do you guys know what you call a ghost that only has a nose? Nobody knows. At camp, we love making friends, but we know it's harder to make friends at home. That's why we bring you this, the Friendship Tip of the Week. Here's a fun friendship tip of the week. You know, we talk about not gossiping and how we don't want to spread gossip, but what about this? What if you spread positive gossip about others? Just share positive needs or really hype them up. Or we talk about gassing other people up or really filling their bucket. Do that with your friends. Get a positive buzz going among your community. And I bet other people will start doing it too. And before you know it, all your friends will be being more positive, and that will be awesome. And now, it's time for another GACspiration with Sunshine.
We love trying new things at GAC. So today's GACspiration is an anonymous one, and it says, you know all those things you've always wanted to do? You should go do them.
Well, there it is, another episode of the Gold Arrow Camp POG-Cast off the internet and into your brain. Thank you so much for listening. Also, thanks to Sunshine for recording that GACspiration, and thanks to Van for being a generally awesome person and for giving us so much of her valuable time. Really appreciate that. If you enjoy the show that you spend your valuable time listening to, please rate and review us wherever you get podcasts and share us with a friend. Until next time, I'm Soy, and I'll save a marshmallow for you.